Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's 4 o'clock Pacific time on Friday. That means it is time to start drinking. Uh, you'll notice I'm wearing a mask, and I wear this mask because I respect you and I care for you and your families and your guys' health. So follow the example, wear a mask. Um, Welcome to this week's episode of Drinking on an Empty Stomach. I'm your host, Steve Hegenderfer. This should be super fun this week. This week is kind of a really good twofer. We didn't meet last week. Next week, you guys are going to be gone for the 4th, so we probably won't do next Friday as well. So this had to be really good. And we've got two strong drinks. I don't mean strong like strong, although they are super boozy. I mean strong like these are really good drinks. One is called the Aviation, and the other is called the NightFlight, which is something that I think you will enjoy. Aviation, this drink's been around for a long time. Well, not a long time. I wouldn't call it a classic cocktail, but it's been around for about 15 or 20 years. I'm not sure where it came from, but I'm pretty sure I know where it got its name from, and it's the hue and the color. It looks like kind of blue clouds, right? But it's a good drink. My niece's boyfriend Clayton turned me on to this, and I just hadn't tried it for a long time until maybe about 6 weeks ago or so. Molly and the kids were, I don't know where they were. They weren't in the house, or I was doing something in the house by myself. But I decided to finally try to make this. It's actually a really good drink. It's a pretty simple drink to make. And the reason why we've got both of these drinks this week is because the NightFlight is going to build on the Aviation. The NightFlight is actually kind of a bastard love child of an Aviation and a Vesper Martini. If you remember the Vesper Martini from I think week 3, that thing was pretty freaking good. This drink is really good as well, the NightFlight. And not only that, but it looks amazing. If you use the ingredients that I tell you to, this looks like a $20 bar drink, right? So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the Aviation. Aviation's interesting. I'm actually going to make a variant of the Aviation that I have not tried before. I'm going to try a different gin with it this time. And I remember I told you guys to get creme de violette. An Aviation is gin, maraschino liqueur, creme de violette, and some freshly squeezed lemon juice. But I did some variants of it. Molly doesn't like the creme de violette, so I wanted to find something she'd enjoy. So I tried elderberry, and it actually works really good. So I'm going to, for the Aviation, I'm going to use just a clean gin. And I'm going to use Breckenridge gin. Breckenridge, this distillery out of Colorado, is actually pretty good. They make some really good bourbons, or they make at least one really good bourbon. This gin is super good. They make kind of everything there. But it's a good distillery. This gin's a little higher proof. It's about 45 proof. Most gins are about 80 proof, about 40 proof. 45% alcohol by volume, so 90 proof as opposed to 80 proof. But let's go ahead and make this bad boy. This is a drink we're going to shake. So we have our friend the shaker. And we're going to start by using 2 ounces of gin. Because remember, we don't make anything with less than 2 ounces of booze in this household, right? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm out. And the funny part about it is, you guys can't see this. It's literally 2 ounces. I got lucky on that pour. So 2 ounces of gin. Okay, just going to pour that in a shaker. We're going to use a half an ounce of maraschino liqueur. Okay, so there we go. Got a half ounce of that. And now, usually in this drink, you would use creme de violette. In this case, I'm going to use an elderberry liqueur. I'm going to use Chase, Saint Germain, same difference. but elderberry liqueur. So I will say, in this drink, the Aviation, there's actually a lot of room to experiment with. We tried. Remember when we made the PB&Js the other week, and we had, there's a strawberry and the blackberry variant, and I said you could use creme de cassis, which is the blackberry liqueur, and blackberries in there, muddle those. It actually works okay in the Aviation, but it's not nearly as good as the creme de violette or the elderberry. The elderberry, if you've never had it before, well, it smells like elderberry, but it's a different taste. It's a little bit sweeter. It's not nearly as botanical as the creme de violette. So I'm going to use this for the Aviation. Like I said, a true Aviation, though, is not Saint Germain or elderberry liqueur. A true Aviation is creme de violette, but we're going to use that in the next drink. Okay, so now we're going to use a ½ ounce of freshly squeezed, see, I did that just for you guys, freshly squeezed lemon juice. It depends on how tart you like this, really. No more than a ½ ounce, maybe a third to a ½ ounce. So you can't see, but I'm going to go just under ½ ounce for that. Okay, and that is really it. So we got 2 ounces of gin, we got a ½ ounce of maraschino liqueur, we got a ½ ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And if you guys have been cheating and been using like the lemon juice out of the bottle, shame on you. Get freshly squeezed stuff. This little guy was like $5. It's perfect. And then what else did I put in? That's it. Okay. Shaker. Meat ice. Okay. So let's shake this bad boy up. Look at that, nice and cold, especially today. You guys are up around the Seattle area. It's freaking hot today. It's like 80 degrees up here. And then it's going to rain just in time for the weekend, which is awesome. So tomorrow it gets crappy again. So here we go. Here's our Aviation. There we go. And you notice it's kind of got this almost like a mint green look to it. That's the elderberry liqueur, okay? We're going to take, if you had a brandy cherry, those work really good. I'm going to take a maraschino cherry. There we go. Drop that bad boy in. Cheers. It's a super tasty drink. Thing about this, if you use the elderberry, it makes it a much kind of a milder drink. Elderberry liqueur, Saint Germain, that kind of stuff is a sweet liqueur. It's not super sweet. It tends to, if you use too much of it, it will overwhelm what you're putting in, or we're putting it into. But if you use the right amount, it actually brings out the flavor of everything you're putting in there. So remember, we put in some maraschino liqueur. You can actually really taste the cherry in this. The elderberry is kind of subtle. The gin you're just getting the botanicals from the gin, so it mates really well with this stuff. See that? Go maraschino sherry at the bottom. Holy crap! At some point, I'm going to eat before one of these things. But lunch isn't my thing, and I got to get in a couple drinks of practice before I do these, right? Yum. Okay. Now, that was super yummy. Now for the main attraction. This NightFlight starts out like a Vesper. And you're going to see the ingredients we put in it are the same ingredients we use for a Vesper, kind of. I'm going to start adding stuff that you typically find in an Aviation, right? Then we're going to add a little zip at the end. But this drink is super good, super tasty. Some people have a love-hate relationship with the creme de violette. I highly suggest you try it. I like it. I think the creme de violette, it's kind of a flowery liqueur, so it ends up taking on the botanicals of the gin really well. And this drink looks amazing. Like I said, this is one of those $20 drinks. I consider this a martini. Some people like the martini stirred. In this house, our martinis are shaken, right? I will say this drink it's beautiful. Like it's a pretty looking drink. And if you stirred it, you wouldn't get the muddled look that we're going to get with the cracked ice. Okay, so I will say that. But the cracked ice kind of melts anyway, and it ends up being amazing anyhow, right? And it clears up. So this bad boy, I'm going to do a little less bit of this. So with this, we're going to use a different kind of gin. You can use a regular gin, but just to make this super pretty. So let me show you the creme de violette first. See? Look at that color. I don't know if you can really see it, but this is really dark blue, purple. I'm colorblind, so I don't know, but it's kind of what it looks like to me. Super, super dark. And look at this Empress gin. Gorgeous. This is nice blue, purple color. So the drink that you're going to make just looks, it looks amazing. Like it looks very, very pretty. And we're going to use this Empress gin. This is actually not an expensive gin. It's like 20, 25 bucks. Taste-wise, I mean, it's a good gin. You smell it, and you can smell the juniper right away. It's maybe a little bitier than some gins I use, but I still like it. It's very, very tasty, and it's a very mixable gin, right? So like everything, remember, if you haven't tried this before, obviously I have because I've drank like half the bottle, but you should always try the liquor you're using. Super important, because you're going to find that there's some things you like, some things you don't like, right? Oh, but that Empress gin's some good shit. Okay, so we're going to start out with 1.5 ounces of gin. Okay. There we go. Got 1.5 ounces for gin. We're putting that in the shaker. Okay, and now we're going to grab some vodka. We're going to have 1 ounce of vodka. And with the vodka, I would recommend a clean vodka. You want a vodka that is very mild, doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, because it's going to ruin the rest of the stuff. Plus, it's going to get lost. Trust me. But we're going to use 1 ounce of vodka. Okay. I'm just using Tito's. There's another vodka that's kind of my house vodka, Star Vodka, which I really like. It's like a 90 or 91 point vodka. I get it for like 16 bucks for a half gallon at Total Wine. It's really good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're either going to use Lillet Blanc or the Cochi Americano. The Lillet Blanc is a little sweeter. The Cochi Americano is a little bit spicier, so that's why I'm using this. Now, if you remember from like week 3 or 4, and we're going to use 1/2 ounce of this, by the way. If you remember from week 3 or 4 when we made the Vesper Martini, this should sound super similar to a Vesper Martini. Like if we took the measurements and we made a big hefty Vesper and we actually split it. Well, I told you guys you should split. I drink the whole damn thing. But if you look at the measurements, these are about half the measurements of a Vesper. So what we have in here right now is really a Vesper, right? We've got 1.5 ounces of gin. We've got 1 ounce of vodka. And we've got 1/2 ounce of, I use the Cochi Americano, but you could use a Lillet Blanc, right? That is essentially a Vesper right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use 1/2 ounce of this creme de violette. Okay. And this stuff can be overpowering if you've never had it before. So don't use more than 1/2 ounce to begin with, right? See how you like it first. This drink, actually, I use lemon bitters in, okay? And lemon bitters, it's hard to find. If you find them, they're the same price as any other bitters, but I would always recommend you have several different kind of bitters. You just want the regular old bitters. Just get some bitters. Get some orange bitters. Get some lemon bitters. If you're feeling a little spicy, get some chocolate bitters, because around the holiday times, there's some really good holiday drinks that I use with chocolate bitters that are super, super tasty. But bitters are very cool because you can experiment with them. We may even have one of these where we talk about making bitters. I can't really show you because making bitters takes like 3 or 4 weeks. It kind of sucks. But bitters are pretty cool. Always have 3 or 4 different kinds handy. This is lemon, right? So we're going to take a couple dashes. Look at that. A couple dashes of lemon. Bitters in there. And now we're going to add some ice to our shaker. Okay. So right now we've got gin, 1.5 ounces of gin. We've got 1 ounce of vodka. We have a 1/2 ounce of the Coche Americano, but you can use the Lillet Blanc, right? The Coche Americano I think is a little spicier. The Lillet Blanc is a little bit more mild. We have the 1/2 ounce of creme de violette. We have a couple dashes of lemon bitters. And now we're going to shake. Now someday, for you guys, I'm going to learn how to like spin it and all that other crap. But I'm just really lazy and fat and I like to drink, so I really haven't gone to that level yet. Okay, I'll take this bad boy out. I don't know if you can see that. It's like this beautiful purple color. It's absolutely gorgeous looking. There we go. Oh my God, like just, it's amazing looking. I don't know if you guys can see that color. I wish you could see it from the top down. Now, I shake these. You kind of see it looks a little muddled, and that's because of the cracked ice in there, right? You could stir this. Like all martinis, you could stir your martinis. If you stir the martinis, it's going to be a much more vibrant, kind of a purple color. Now we're going to add the finishing touches to this bad boy. If I actually have brandy cherries, I'd use one of those. But I like my maraschinos. Pop a maraschino in that bad boy. And I'm going to take a lemon wheel. So this is the other half of the lemon that I did not squeeze. I'm going to cut a lemon wheel. See? Lemon wheel. Take half of that bad boy off. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of that in there. Just shove that right on the edge there. And that, my friends, is your night flight. And the reason why it's called the night flight is because after a couple of these, you are Betty Bye. You are flying straight to freaking bed. Because these things are awesome. Oh man, I really enjoy these. The creme de violette is not for everybody. Like I said, it's a super floral liqueur, but with gin, it pairs perfectly, right? Because you've got all those botanicals in the gin. This creme de violette mates with those amazingly well, right? And we're going to put in some vodka, just because we can, pretty much. And there's no taste in vodka, so we're just making it boozier, is all we're doing. And then we add lemon. We add some citrus, some punch to it, right? To make it a little bit tart. Because if we didn't, it would be super flowery, super sweet, too much botanicals, I think. So we took the lemon bitters. We've got the lemon slice, or the lemon wheel. We squeeze that in there. And then we've got the maraschino cherry down at the bottom, which adds just a little bit of sweetness that I think really puts this drink over the top. So, you can so take a look at that color now. Okay, that's what you're going to get if you stir it, as opposed to shake it, right? So now, well, I drank half of it, but kind of the cracked ice has melted a little bit. But oh my God, it's a beautiful drink. So you go to a bar, and this bad boy is like a $20 drink. I mean, look at it. It's a gorgeous drink. And like I said several times over and over, the stuff that we're doing, the stuff that I learned how to do, and the stuff that you all know now how to do, it's awesome. And it's pennies on the dollars for going out to the bar. Don't get me wrong. I love going out to the bars. But the one thing that the epidemic or the pandemic, sorry, has taught me was to make really good drinks. Like I've become a much better barsmith. And there's no reason why you guys can't either, right? I mean, I'm a freaking Luddite, right? I was raised on beer, loved that stuff forever, right? And then for some strange reason, I went to bourbon, and that was a gateway to everything. And now I make drinks, right? And all you guys can make drinks too. And these types of drinks right here are amazing. They taste amazing. They look amazing. You're going to freaking impress your friends with something like this. I mean, this is it's a beautiful drink, right? The only thing I could have done is I could have taken the lemon slice and I could have carved in a little naked lady lemon thing or a naked dude lemon thing. That would have been cool. But I didn't because I can't and I'm too lazy to learn how to do that. But I can make the drink. And all you guys can too. And these things are amazing. So all I can say is invest in your bar a little bit. You don't need a lot of stuff to make great drinks, right? And when you buy mixers, don't get freaking like mixers. Don't get like that Cuervo stuff. Don't get that sugary crap. Go out and buy actual liqueurs. To mix with your drink. Oh, here's another one, right? I mean, in my bar, I don't have a single sugary crap thing that doesn't have booze in it, right? I mean, yeah, this is a sweet liqueur. All liqueurs are sweet. But guess what? That bad boy is also 40 proof, which is better than all that sugary stuff you get in the bottled mixers for like the hurricanes and the margaritas and all that stuff. Don't buy that stuff, right? You don't need it. You guys are better than that. These things are easy to make. So, the Aviation, let's go back to that. Just to recap, 2 ounces of gin, 2 ounces of creme de violette. I used elderberry liqueur though, so Saint Germain or something like that would be really good. Half an ounce of maraschino liqueur, and then a half an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Shaker, shaky, pour it in your drink. Maraschino cherry, glug glug, awesome. Whew. The NightFlight is a combination of a Vesper Martini and the Aviation. Really, those two things. I'm not sure. Like, I think I just got bored and started deciding I was going to make up stuff. But the NightFlight's freaking amazing, right? It is one of the better drinks that I think I make. 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of vodka, a half of an ounce of either Lillet Blanc or the Cochi Americano, right? So these are aperitifs. The Lillet Blanc tends to be, I think, a little smoother, a little sweeter. The Cochi Americano tends to be a little bit spicier, so I like that. And then for the NightFlight, you really have to get some creme de violette. The problem with creme de violette, this stuff, if you buy a bottle of this stuff, it will literally last you forever because you're not going to use that much stuff in a drink. This stuff for a liqueur is kind of spendy. Like, you can get elderberry liqueur and you can get like creme de cassis and all the other stuff pretty cheap. They're all about $20. So it's creme de violette's hard to find. If you can find it, it's about $35, right? But well worth it, and you will have it for a long time. And buy it, right? So sorry, I digress. 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of vodka, clean, straight vodka, not any kind of flavory BS stuff. Half an ounce of Lillet Blanc or Cochi Americano, a half ounce of creme de violette, some lemon bitters, couple dashes of lemon bitters, shaky. Garnish with a lemon wheel and a cherry. Dude, in fact, you could probably go to a bar and say, hey, dude, make me a NightFlight. And they'd be like, bunch of jackasses. You can make this thing for like super cheap. It's amazing. You'll impress your friends and you'll be like the man or woman of the hour. These are good. Again, I highly recommend, if you guys are following along these Friday things, do this on an empty stomach because it's way better. This is a good freaking drink. So, the Aviation. Thank you, Clayton, for that. I know I put that off for weeks. And thank you for persisting. Super good. The NightFlight. It's a bastard love child of the Aviation and the Vesper, right? So you know that's going to be bougie as hell. Like when we first started making it, it was a Vesper, and then we added some other things to it. But that is a great drink. And it's the NightFlight is one of those drinks where it's so unusual and it's so beautiful. I mean, it's just a beautiful drink, and it tastes as good as it looks. It really does, right? And it's easy to make. Like if I can do it, dude, look at me. I'm a freaking Luddite. Like I'm a freaking moron. If I can do this, all of you guys can do this stuff, right? So, Aviation, NightFlight, 2 great drinks. I hope you have a safe and sane 4th of July. Remember, right? Masks, because guess what? You respect people, you care about them, you care about their families. Okay? Wear them. It's not that hard. I can breathe, I can talk. It's not a freedom thing. It's a freaking science and smart thing. So don't be a dumbass. Wear a mask and respect people around you, okay? I love you guys. Have a great, safe, sane 4th. Wear a mask. Be careful. Be safe. Don't blow your freaking fingers off. Holy shit. Just don't do stupid stuff. Like, when you were a kid, you did stupid stuff. You made pipe bombs. You held M80s. That's great. Don't do that now. Because without opposable thumbs, you can't use a shaker. Take care, guys. I will see you after the 4th. We probably won't do this on the 3rd because I know you guys aren't going to be tuning in anyway. But we'll probably pick this up again the week after the 4th. And maybe we'll go to some more bread and butter drinks. There's actually a really good sea breeze that I make from scratch that I want to show you guys. And most of you guys are like going, oh, sea breeze, it's vodka and cranberry juice. No, it is not. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do some kind of going back to basic stuff because this week with the Aviation and NightFlight, it's pretty advanced stuff, right? I mean, coming up with a freaking purple drink, that takes some stuff. So I'll think about it. I'm always open to suggestions, right? It may take a while. I know, Clayton, it took you like 2 months to get your suggestion into me, but I'm always open to suggestions. And with that, be safe, be careful, be smart, and respect those around you. Wear a mask. I love you guys. Cheers. Bye.